Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy DBGTX, and we are here with another Gundam Evolution video. That is right, Gundam Evolution. We have been ramping it up here on the channel, talking much more about it, much more content, of course, being brought to the table to make sure that you guys know exactly what you guys are getting yourself into. If you haven't heard about this, I again highly recommending to go to the website GundamEvolution.com, where they're gonna go ahead and show you around a little bit. This is a 6v6 Gundam team shooter, or team shooter. If you ever played Overwatch, you ever played Paladin, you ever played those kind of games where you have a squad with special roles, particular roles, and then you go ahead and kind of like mix and match, and that particular squad, you throw it out there, so on and so forth. You can't have obviously the same character over and over and over again, so it's based off, you know, how you mix and match with your team. Now, I don't want to go ahead and get too much into that because my very first video kind of already broke down that this is how the gameplay is, what we are looking forward to when you play this kind of game, and what I'm looking forward to in doing this kind of content on the channel. Not only do I want to have something that's very competitive that we all can play, which is free for all. That is right, everybody who has PlayStation 5, 4, Xbox Series X, S, and Xbox One and Steam is coming to all of those systems. The only system that it's not being shown on is the Nintendo Switch. That may change down the road, of course, but for now, these are all the systems that is coming out on. Now, in my last video, we went ahead and we was discussing quite a few things. We were discussing the units actually, and we got through the first 3 units. This video is going to be a lot shorter. I am going to be able to get through this video a lot faster than the last one, based off the fact that I already kind of got a rotation going, and I already know exactly how to break things down. 1, 2. We don't have to have all the introductions as to why and where's and what's happening and when this game is coming out, none of all that stuff. So immediately, let's jump back into the fray. Today we have the Gun Tank. We also have the Turn 8 Gundam and the Dom Trooper. So those are the 3 Gundams we will be covering in this video. Starting up, we're gonna go ahead and get through these units that we got here left, and then after that, I'll give you guys my prediction of the Gundams that are supposed to be coming out or will come out for this amazing game in the future. Of course, with the support that it's supposed to have. So let's go ahead and talk about the Gun Tank. The Gun Tank is the very first mobile suit successfully developed by the Earth Federation, as you guys can read there. It is a mid-range specialist. Has 2 dash limits. This is the dash limit in the last video. The HP 1200 and mid-range, and is a mid-range specialist, like I just mentioned. Those 3 things combined just gives this guy what is called, like the name, tank. Exactly that. It's easy to maneuver, it's easy to use. It is a tank. In regards to taking damage, it is the easiest unit to use in the game, and probably starting off, is probably one of the more fun units to be honest. Now, I'll tell you guys why this guy is going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to start it off with the main weapon, of course. The main weapon, the Bop Missile, automatically targets multiple enemies within range, dealing equal damage to all of them. This right here, although it doesn't take a lot of damage, as you guys can see here with the pellets going down one by one, this right here is for suppression fire. A gun tank doing this plus another mid-range specialist with a heavier beam rifle, you're averaging 1 tag per every 1.5 seconds, give and take, with someone else blasting you with a Fedayeen rifle from the Marasai or anything like that of the sort, will automatically take massive damage if you're getting caught lacking right here. Now, needless to say, the fun starts from this point forward. On the sub action, you can go ahead and change it from multiple bursts or wide range bursts like this, right? Which makes it easy to use, obviously. That's the part of the ease of access. With the sub action, you can actually focus on just one particular character. What that means is that the difference between the wider range and the scope range is that you'll be able to hit that particular character further and it will take double the amount of damage. So whereas to this only takes one attack when it's open up like this, when it's on a single one like you guys will see right here, it's focused, it takes one tag, but it takes it at double the amount of speed. So moving on to the G maneuver, which is called a launch core fighter. What this does is launches a fast moving flying unit, obviously that you can control, so on and so forth, like you guys can see here on the screen. When you launch that, it's a drone. Essentially, you can control it, launch it into the enemies. It causes, from my understanding, it's auto death because it's like a grenade. So as you saw there, those two enemies that were there, that was including, I believe, a RX-78 and a Turn 8 Gundam right here waiting on the other side, and it literally killed him with one hit. That is crazy. Absolutely preposterous damage with that. More than likely probably get a nerf to leave you at one tack or two tacks in the future. Also, the main action is to detonate the core fighter to damage all units in a small area. Obviously, that's what you guys see right over here. Once you get close to the enemy, you can go ahead and activate that. Now here we have the active skills, which is called Rush. Charge forward for a short time, deflecting attacks from the front for the duration, deals damage and knockback to the enemy. So this particular combination right here, or this particular move, is amazing because the distance that it covers. Again, being a gun tank, just because it's a standard unit or is not your favorite unit or whatever the case might be, don't look at this game as I have to have my favorite Gundam out on the field because that's the one that I want to use all the time. Yes, you can concentrate and play with that particular Gundam and use it like that, but just remember that each Gundam has their usage, and one Gundam isn't going to be that much better than the other. It's going to be lacking in one department versus the other. So sitting there and saying that, well, I could just use this Gundam all the time and compensate for it. Okay, cool. If you want to learn your Gundam inside out that way, that's totally fine. But in this case, this gun tank is looking like it's going to be one of the ones used a lot because of this particular rush. You have this attack or this particular active skill which covers major distance and also stops any damage from penetrating your bullets. End the charge early, and apparently by ending the charge early, you can go ahead and body slam into the enemy. So basically, like the Gundam Exia's blade, where it hits you, a melee, is basically like that. So essentially, you could use the rush to go through enemies or basically cover a long distance, or you could cancel it into a hit, which does a knockback on the opponent and takes massive damage. You can also go through them with the actual rush. So if they're in the line of sight and you go straight forward, you can do so. Now, active skills 2, you have what is called the cannon. This is a cannon, straightforward. There ain't no sugarcoating exactly what it is. So that's in the square. If they're within the square, when you press the triggers, it's going to literally hit them. They're taking 2 attacks of damage, but you can only launch so many of those bullets, and it has a massive cooldown. So the gift of being able to have so many different alternative weapons. Last but not least, we have the high speed recovery. The high speed recovery revives the disabled ally much faster than normal. So when your units are knocked out, what ends up happening is you have to go ahead, and this is something new that's being shown in the video because this was not shown in the trailers, nor has it been broken down in the trailers. But this is something that's being shown here in the video. When your ally is knocked out, you can go ahead and essentially revive them. And the way you revive them is by going over there and doing repair works on that particular Gundam. Now, if you have a gun tank, apparently you can use their active skills 3 to immediately revive them without having to wait or charge up a bar. That's a new mechanic that's coming in because generally with a lot of other co-op team-based games like this, when you lose, your character either like disappears, dies, or something like that, and then you just pretty much respawn. In this one, you have to revive your units. So down units can instantly be revived with a gun tank. So yes, you can't. More than likely, you're not gonna be able to run more than a certain amount of gun tanks per team. And I think that you can only run one per team anyway. So this is gonna be crucial to maintaining the balance on the battlefield. Moving on, we're gonna go ahead and go over to the Turn 8 Gundam. The Turn 8 Gundam has a difficulty of 2. So the gun tank and the Turn 8 are honestly similar, I guess, in that sense, in regards to what they can and they can't do. The average capability. So they're both mid-range users. This guy suffers on the HP. So instead of 1200 like the gun tank, the Turn 8 Gundam does have 1100 on the HP. So you have a little bit less HP, but you still have the same dash limit. So 2 dash limits, so on and so forth. Now here on the weapon skills, again, we're gonna go ahead and break down these weapon skills. We have the beam rifle. The beam rifle itself, as you guys see, is highly accurate beam with minimum recoil, so on and so forth. This is similar to the Fitteryin rifle. The difference between the Fitteryin rifle and the beam rifle is that the beam rifle takes more damage. Simple as that. And you can actually charge it. So by charging it, as you guys saw in the very beginning, you can actually take 3 bars of damage. But if you want to go ahead and use it on semi-auto or just pew, 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 you could do it as well. And it only takes 1 bar of damage. It's pretty much giving you an option on how to play. It's kind of like the Halo short pistol, alien pistol. You could either shoot it up and take no damage at all. You could charge it and take 3 attacks of damage. And then it's also showing you that the charge is based off your ammo. You shoot a charged beam, it takes 2 bullets. A lot of other games do this. You do a charge up, it completely causes the gun to recharge. Now, the cooldown may be small, like it'll be like a 2-second cooldown, so you're not consistently using the recharge thing, but that 2 seconds, those are the 2 seconds that you're left without a weapon. So I like the fact that it gives you an ammo, it tells you this is how much you have, and then from there you can go ahead and pick and choose the way you want to go with it. Now here we have the Moonlight Butterfly. The Moonlight Butterfly G maneuver turns into a butterfly, flies over the enemy, and anything that is below the spectral wave that's coming out of the wings gets damaged. And it's not just regular damage, it is heavy damage. You get 3 ticks knocked off of you, as you guys see it there in the video. It's super fast because you obviously have to control it because there's a time bar and all that good stuff that you have to like see on the side of the time bar that's going down. So you only have but so many seconds to use this. So I would say that use this particular G maneuver when you're caught yourself up in a very bad predicament. When I say a very bad predicament, I would say something like, yo, I'm surrounded by the enemies, I need to get out of here and I need to deal some damage because I know my guys are right behind me. That's the perfect time to use this kind of G maneuver. The next thing that we have is called Nano Skin. I guess Nano Skin automatically repair your suit for a short time. Now, if you see it here on the left side, you have to look at the health bars. So as you're being attacked, this is kind of similar. I'm gonna assume that this is a Halo feature. I'm gonna call it like that. This is like the Halo feature, your bodysuit regenerating over time. But I don't know if it's going to give you 100% full regeneration. This is one of the things that's showing that the mid-range is going to be a problem. The mid-range category is going to be a problem because these guys not only have well-balanced defensive maneuvers to outlast the competition and be able to stop and negate the competition's damage, whether it's immediate or a little bit afterwards, like the Gundam Exia. The mid-range are heavily stacked with weapons that cause stagger and causes insane damage as well. 3 ticks, 2 ticks, easy. Now, the Gundam Exia's last move is called the overhead throw. I guess you can grapple an enemy in front of you and throw them into the air, damaging and stunning them when they land. So, This is cool. It's very iconic too from the original series. But check it out. You toss your enemy, right? They go ahead and get damaged. The crazy thing about it is that when they land, right, the enemy cannot move. The enemy is literally stunned. It's kind of like the shock wave from the Marasai, but it doesn't show obvious electricity. So when you grab them, toss them, it takes damage. When they land, it shocks them. So you're able to follow that up with some high maneuverability. Now, this guy ain't doing us any justice in the video by slowly turning, but you know people are going to be having the sensitivity on high speed, so we're going to go ahead, grab them, throw them, and or turn into the butterfly and start knocking them around. Either way, craziness with this gun. This game is definitely being built to last. It's being built to service the Gundam fans the way they're supposed to. And I respect the fact that Bandai and Toei and all those companies decided to say, hey, it's time to put Gundam back on. For real. Last but not least, let's talk about the Dawn Trooper, the CGMF-XX09T. Here we have another mid-range specialist. So today is the day of the mid-ranges, apparently. HP 1200 and a dash limit 1. You can read the description about the Dawn Trooper down there if you want to. Let's go ahead and talk about what we got here. First and foremost, we got the Giga Launcher DR1, the grenade launcher. So this one, although slow, you can fire up to 7 projectiles, as you guys see down here. It takes massive damage, as you guys can see. And anybody who's in the concussive blast, meaning that if you're closing that small area, it'll also affect that particular person. So it's good to use it in cluster. Not much to go ahead and keep there and talk too much on that. Next, we have the Multiplex Beam. So this is a continuous beam, fires for a short time that damages enemy, prevents projectile shots for the duration. So actually, when you use the Multiplex Beam, what happens is that this causes the enemy to stagger while it's getting hit, thus not allowing the enemy to be able to move or fire back at you. This is something that essentially would be like, well, I'm getting shot at, so I can't just eat it. I have, I'm feeling the bullets kind of stuff. This is what this particular laser does in this Gundam series. Whereas to a lot of other, as you know, other weapons that we're gonna have here, build on that particular stagger mechanic. So you have to, for example, with the Marasai, hit somebody with the Fita Yi rifle 5-6 times in order for them, to stagger if it causes stagger or something like that. This weapon in particular causes continuous stagger as long as the duration of the beam. So that means that the beam itself, so that means that it's gonna cause that character to not be able to move, thus allowing your co-op players and colleagues to come in. The G maneuver is called the Screaming. Charge forward for a short time, deflecting attacks from the front for the duration. Now, you get a temporary HP bonus apparently, and a movement. No, I read that wrong. You can grant temporary HP bonuses to your allies and movement speed. Also, it deals damage, knockback, and guard break to enemies. So anybody that's in the immediate vicinity is going to literally get wrecked. That's all it is. This is bulldozer mode. Essentially use it when you're about to lead the charge, when you know that there's a lot of enemies around. Use it to get out of a situation that you think is going to be bad for you and your team. Just honestly where I would love to use this particular Gundam. Leading the charge with a move like this one would be amazing. Because if I can do so and create stagger and damage for all my teammates, and then all my teammates can come in and body whop and boot up the whop and destroy everybody else, we're here. That's all I can say. The active skills that we got here is called an adhesive sensor mine. And these are basically exploding mines, so landmines. You put them there, enemy comes through, they step on it, boom. takes 3 attacks of damage, each one of them. Not gonna go ahead and sit there and talk too much about that. Last but not least is the armor gun. You can use that in order to go ahead and grant temporary HP bonuses to the allies. So essentially, get close to your opponent, or you don't even have to be close like turn A, you have to be up close and personal. The gun tank, you have to be up close and personal. Those kind of things or whatever, in order for certain effects to work. This one, you can be at the mid-range, shoot, and it'll go ahead and heal your colleague. So what do we have from the Dom Trooper? What we have from the Dom Trooper is that the Dom Trooper isn't what I thought it was in my original video. In my original video, I thought that this guy was just gonna be focused heavy on rocket launching and doing heavy damage. I was heavily wrong. We were given a mid-range specialist that can actually take damage, can dish out the damage, and although it doesn't have that many dash boosts, 1 out of 3 or whatever, this guy is designed to be the heavy duty. This guy is designed to be the heavy duty usage outside of the gun tank, and I think we're gonna see a lot of Trooper on the channel on Gundam Evolution. And that's it. That's all I got for this roster breakdown. If you guys enjoyed that kind of video, please make sure you go ahead and hit the sub, the like, the share, continue coming through here on the channel. Y'all already know we're gonna go ahead and drop a 3rd video covering the Ashamar, the GM Sniper, and a few more in that particular video. And then of course in the final video, we'll be also covering the last few Gundams that we have here, including the Zaku 2, the Barbatos that you guys see on the screen, and of course my favorite Gundam, the RX-78-2. So that's it. That's all we got. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Show some love in the comment section. Let me know what's your favorite Gundam. Let me ask you guys that question. What is your favorite Gundam? Let me know in the comment section. Why is that your favorite Gundam? Holla at me.